what we're going to talk about today, what I'll do first is give you just a really brief overview of the migration programme and who runs it, or how it's made up, and the kind of size of it. And then we're going to discuss some specific kind of streams: general skill migration, employer-sponsored migration, business migration, and family migration. The latter three we'll briefly go over because they're fairly specific to your situation, and I would really need to sort of sit down with you all individually, perhaps we can discuss later, but the general skill migration is probably the one that's most appropriate at this stage. So, the migration program in Australia, it's actually run by a federal department, so it covers all the states in Australia. It's administered by the Department of Immigration and Citizenship. That's the government department that grants the visas. It makes that's where you lodge a visa application. It's the department that makes the assessment of whether you meet the legislative criteria, and it will be the department that eventually grants your visa. And it also puts it in your passport. Sorry. You probably know the Australian High Commission here in Singapore. That will have a Department of Immigration sort of branch, and they're the people who process the visas offshore. So they're located in every state around and territory around the country, and also in many sort of sites around the world. In 2008 and 2009, so the kind of this program year, the government planned for 190,000 places, over 190,000 places in its migration program. It's probably the biggest one, I think it is the biggest one since the end of the Second World War. So there's been a lot of talk about, you know, them slashing the size of the migration program and cutting down skilled migration places. But to be honest, it really wasn't going to go up again because it's a huge number. I think the highest number since the end of the war for people to migrate was something like 185,000. So this year's program was really very large, and it probably couldn't have gone up, it might have gone down in any case slightly. So of those places, 70% of them are for skilled migration. So for people who are, like you guys, professionals, skilled people who are either sponsored by employers or come to Australia off their own kind of back on the basis of their skills and work experience. And so that the other parts of the program are obviously family migration, humanitarian migration, which would be, you know, refugees, humanitarian kind of cases. And family migration is everything from, you know, child visas to spouse visas, last remaining relative visas. There's about 100 different types of visas. So, so that's kind of a rough idea of what the migration program is.